Hello, Victor.
Hi. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Excellent. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Victor, Voices in the Sky, your fourth album is to be out on August 26th. So, can you tell me a bit about the songwriting and production behind this new album?
Yeah. So I'm the main songwriter, and it was written during the pandemic. So it was a very strange time to write. That when the world kind of stopped and all our other plans got cancelled, we assumed that this is going to be a great time to write because we have a lot of time locked at home. But then again, it didn't really work because this kind of perspective that at least I need to write music that I get from traveling and meeting people and having discussions and engagement and interaction. This whole link was missing, and also just between the band guys, like this kind of Zoom or long distance sessions through a webcam didn't work, and so it was really kind of tough to get going. But then the second year of the pandemic, then all this turned. We were so frustrated that it turned into a huge power source, and this frustration was like fuel for the fire, and we wrote a lot of new music, and then we spent basically 2021 in the studio working on the record. And I produced the record myself. I recorded and mixed it. So you can imagine how many thousands of times I've heard the songs, but I'm still not tired of them. So I did something right now this time, I guess.
Amazing. Amazing. So was there any particular concept that was put behind this album?
Not really. Like, we're not in that sense like a concept, or we don't. At least I have a very short attention span. I'm like an ADHD torpedo. So I like to write this kind of small stories, but then often it's like there's some unifying theme. And now I only realized it when the album was already ready, that I have a lot of songs about traveling, which makes sense because I had such a longing to get back on the road during the whole like lockdown period. So that makes sense. And then there's also a few songs which are kind of discuss like how evil human beings can be to each other, how cruel and greedy. And this is also a theme which has been really like it's a current topic. And then in general, you can see also from the artwork compared to the previous albums that it's really dark, and it was written during a time when it didn't feel like there was like kind of any light at the end of the tunnel. Everything seemed totally death and darkness and chaos, and that's, you can hear it in the music. Now I'm starting to see, as soon as I get out play some festival shows and stuff, then I'm like, oh, maybe the world isn't such a bad place. but yeah, but there is a certain darkness and anger and frustration there, and then maybe that's the theme, is this kind of suppressed ambition and desire to go forward, but it feels like we're just going backwards. So that's a theme there.
That's great. And talking about the album, we have an amazing songs, greatly work on the songwriting, the musicianship, the power, and you guys are quoted as melodic death metal band, but I feel a lot of things more than melodic death inside. There is folk, there is power, everything is put together, and you guys are brilliant when it comes as an output of an album. So thanks for that. And as a band, how do you feel about the outcome?
I'm very, very happy with the outcome. I feel that this is our best album yet. And like you said, like you described all these genres that you can hear there, yeah, which we managed to bring out like all these bands or these styles which have inspired us, and managed to implement them into our music in a way that we haven't been able to do before. And I'm especially happy with how it turned out in regards to the instrumentation. That we used to have a keyboard player, like Janne Björkrot was the keyboard player for us from the beginning, and he left in 2012. He decided to focus on his other band, Battle Beast, and then I took over like programming synthesizers. And we were in a mindset for so many years that, yeah, we're still like a band that has like kind of a keyboard player, even if it's not present anymore on stage and stuff. We're like a kind of that kind of band. But now I kind of embrace the fact that we don't have a keyboard player anymore. So let's try this time around to try to express as much as possible in the songs, like melodies, leads and stuff, just with the instruments and the voices, you know, everything that we actually bring on stage. And this was a very, very good decision, because I think it played out in our favor.
Wonderful. And guys have any plans on the day of the release?
Yeah, we just announced an insane tour. We're playing 39 shows in one go with Fintroll. Wow. In November. So that's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a test of our physical condition, at least. But that's a dream come true, to finally have this kind of, you know, resources and support that we can actually go on these kind of long tours, which previously has been also been a very big, you know, risk to do before this point. So so I'm very happy that we now have proper support and proper like a team behind us that will help us, you know, achieve these kind of crazy adventures.
Amazing. And do you guys have planned to go to places where you have never been before to support this album this time?
Yeah, it would be so nice to visit like United States, also like this European tour. We have only played in a few European countries, so there's a lot of new territory there, but it would be amazing to go to the US and all the other places. There's so many areas that you know we should go to, and we're just hoping for the first opportunity to just, you know, pack our stuff and jump on a plane and bye.
That's great. And you guys made an amazing video for Voices in the Sky, but do you have plans to come up with more videos in the coming days?
Yeah, we just might be shooting a new video tomorrow.
That's news.
Yeah, and there might be even more down the line. Let's see what happens, but at least there's a one or two coming out, so for sure.
Sounds great. And formed in 2006, how has the musical journey been for you guys so far?
Well, we started out, we were united as teenagers, like this group of us. We were 6 in the beginning, by this kind of passion for this folk metal style, and that was like the strongest unifying factor. But what was also cool, and also like we talked before, with this power metal and black metal and whatever influences, like you had a nice mixture in the band already in 2006, because everybody there really like appreciated like all these genres. Because very often you get some people, they like black metal but they hate power metal, they can't stand the Italians, like woo, like, you know, opera stuff. But we loved all that. We loved like the Italian power metal, we loved the Norwegian black metal, and so we had a nice pool of influences. But the folk metal was the strongest one, and we started out with that, and it carried us to a certain point. But then we started to kind of grow out of this identity of we didn't identify as folk metal, you know, a band anymore. And we also never we're not kind of a gimmick band, you know. We never used this, only like in the very beginning we used this kind of war paint and that kind of stuff. And we just wanted more to be like, you know, naturally be ourselves. And we found that this folk metal genre was a bit kind of constricting in some ways, because it's so strongly associated with certain type of aesthetic or visuals or whatever. So we grew out for that for many years, and kind of started to, you know, consciously avoid making that kind of music, because we didn't want that association which was kind of put on us. But now we're kind of making full circle again, and we're going back to this folk metal roots, just embracing it, that okay, you know, fuck it, we are like, you know, we're not a folk metal band, but there's a lot of that, you know, energy there, and you know, we really love it, you know. So we dared to bring that back. It felt like maybe we like managed to distance ourselves enough from that kind of, you know, direct association to us being a folk metal band, that we can now, you know, kind of go back to our roots and still keep it real.
Amazing. And in the future, do you have plans to bring more changes into the band?
I don't know. Let's see what the future brings. it feels like we now have found our kind of sonic identity, you know, like which I found so many new levels in my voice during the last making of the new record, and we found very many like nice things which work for our drummer and for guitarists and how we make riffs and all this, like the whole process has now become really like kind of solidified. So I think let's see what the future brings, but I think it's gonna get only better from here.
Sounds amazing. And talking about Voices in the Sky again, so what would be the other plans in terms of merchandise? Do you have plans to come up with more vinyls this time? You have other digital CDs will be there, and you have T-shirts and other stuff. So what are the plans for you guys this time?
Well, first of all, we're really happy to finally have a vinyl, because we always dreamed about it, but we never managed to get one. So now we're getting a vinyl, and we also hope to get some of our previous albums printed on vinyl. And we're just about to launch a whole selection of new merchandise, maybe some limited edition items. I have one really funny idea, but let's see how it works out. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming out, so stay tuned.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And would you like to share some of the great moments that has happened over the years?
Yeah, let's see. Like, of course, touring Japan is something crazy, because it's I think it's the most exotic place I've ever been. I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of like almost every part of the world, but Japan is someone, because it looks so Western, but it's not. And then, you know, just being a little bit drunk and this after show adrenaline in Tokyo and not understanding a word what anybody is saying and just partying. That's like, there's many moments there. For example, like walking into a very, very fancy fine dining wine bar with all my gig clothes. So I have this like jewelry and everything, and this hoodie, I look like the Grim Reaper, and I come in there and I just sit down in a random table with some Japanese businessmen, and they're confused, and then just put my glass up, like pour me some, and they pour, and I mix it, and I smell it, and then they chug it all in one go, and they're confused. And then they all stand up, and the whole bar gives me applause, and then we do it again and again, and it became like a show. And similar stories, like we're party guys. We like to party, and we like to do stupid shit. We're a bit like, hi, we're Brymir, and this is Jackass, sometimes. So we've gathered a lot of these really funny memories, and many of them are maybe a bit too hardcore. I maybe can't tell them on an interview, but maybe we can have a beer sometimes, and I can tell you some stories.
Absolutely, Victor. Absolutely. And what would be some of the upcoming plans post-release of the album?
Well, actually, I'm now about to move into a new place. Like I'm a professional music producer and sound designer. So I have a company with professional studios, but I've never felt comfortable making new music or my own music in the places I work, because my process is, I need to be alone, and I need to have this certain kind of space. So I'm now finally moving into a new house where I can actually build a nice home studio, like a man cave, where I can lock myself in, lock my girlfriend out, and really start making new music. So I'm releasing new music is for me the most inspiring time, because you get feedback almost like in real time. You just finished something and people are saying this was good, and also like you read what people didn't like about it, and that fuels me a lot. So I can't wait in a few weeks to start writing again. So maybe we'll have a new album sooner than later.
Amazing. And do you have any plans to come up with something out of Brymir, something like a solo career or something like that? Do you have any plans like that?
Yeah, I make electronic music. I've been doing that for a very long time, especially this like psychedelic dance music. And I have this concept that I've been thinking about for a very long time, about combining kind of this shamanic kind of, Norse mythology, like shamanic things into like psychedelic trance, and make this, really like kind of raw, really deep, like psychedelic dance music with shamanic, undertones. And this is something I also hope to start working on in my in my new studio, but we'll see. I'm gonna be pretty busy here with this stuff.
Gotcha. Sounds good. And Victor, finally, what would be the message that you want to give to the fans from the world?
For everybody who has been with us for a long time, thanks for the support through the years, and everybody who is now tuning in, be sure to check out our new album, and we really hope to see you on the road anywhere in the world. And Europe, we're coming, United States probably coming sooner than later, and rest of the world, see you ASAP.
Amazing. And Victor, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you for this interview. A real pleasure to meet you and talk to you. And thank you so much for making amazing music over the years. And thank you for the new album, Voices in the Sky, which is going to be out in August. And we're all looking forward for the release and hope to see you on the road real soon.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
See you later. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.